Hello and welcome to Bramble.
The darkness outside scared him.
And this is the theme, the scary darkness and two children alone in it. I'm playing this on my Xbox S on Game Pass, but the game is also available on all other
Not
platforms.
being with his sister scared him even more.
So his sister has run off in the middle of the night and he desperately wants to find her. When I first looked at the title screenshot of the game on Game Pass, I thought it looked very dark and the description made it sound a bit like Limbo, which I know is considered a bit of a masterpiece, but I didn't actually like it that much. So I didn't think this was for me, and I was just having a quick look to check it out really while I had 10 minutes to spare. And I had a big surprise. Despite the fact that it is so very dark in the beginning and my eyes were struggling to cope with that, nevertheless the game managed to pull me in. The forest is obviously very spooky at night, and the boy Ollie finds a few quite strange, very primitive wooden figurines, which by the way are collectibles and you get a trophy for that. The matchbox is exactly the same as he had at home in his bedroom, and sometimes you need to work out what you have to do with an object so that you can progress in the story. The camera is almost entirely fixed, so if you want to explore your surroundings you literally need to run around and stumble into things, so very much like in a traditional horror game. Finally we can leave the hut, and there is more mysterious and dark forest to find our way through. The path you take is quite linear. There's very little room for exploration around the area. I really love exploring and finding stuff, but that is not a big focus here. Platforming certainly is one aspect, but everything is kept very simple. Reduced to basic commands, whether it's the jumping or the finding puzzle elements. I was just beginning to wonder if this was the right way. I couldn't really see very much, and oops, I'd fallen down a hole. Was I supposed to be here? But there's a light shimmering in the distance. The boy can only walk fairly slowly, so things do take a bit of time. And finally it occurred to me to check the gamma and brightness settings, which I had left at default. And I thought I really need to turn this up. I can't see very well. So you can see I pushed the gamma up quite a bit, and that really did help.
A light in the dark. A symbol of hope. A spark of courage.
And we are back in the eerie moonlit forest. There is his sister.
What do you have there? Lillemor asked. It glimmers beautifully. What a strange rock. Light as a feather. She investigated closely. Let us play, little brother, Lillemor bubbled. See if you can knock down this pine cone.
And now follows a mini-game that teaches you how to throw and hit moving objects. The experience of being there in that moon-bathed forest is really magical. The graphics are beautiful, I think, and really bring the story to life.
Deeper and deeper through the old ruin.
Well, look at that! Giant mushrooms! I think I have an idea where we are.
Follow me, little brother. I will protect you, Lillemor said. She was never scared like him. Ulle wished he could be a little more like his sister. Lillemor loved adventures, and Ulle loved Lillemor.
The children's names are quite obviously Scandinavian, and in fact the whole fantasy world of this game is based on Scandinavian mythology. The developers are based in Sweden and have drawn heavily on their universe of mythological creatures, including ones we all know well, like trolls and gnomes and many others. Balancing on tree trunks is very easy. There's no gyroscopic control. You just have to keep going, basically. And his sister ran off after the little kobold. Well, we do know now for certain that we are in the realm of fairies and fairy tale creatures. And no, there is no point in trying to look at the sides or into corners for anything of interest. You need to just follow the set path. There is a reason why this is not an exploration game, but a linear story. The emotional impact of the story and the atmosphere is all important, and the developers admirably keep the focus on that. Goodness me, what a pitiful wailing! We need to rescue the kobold by cranking up the church bell. They take him back to the kobold village and have an absolutely enchanting time there. Unfortunately, I do not have any footage of that. And there are a lot of creepy, dark tunnels in this game. Olle is making his way through one of these. He's getting deep underground into the lair of a vile creature. A horrible meat-slurping butcher creature. But he has to find his way through here. There is no other way. Look at all those flies. Horrid. So there's a bit of platforming, and it's not always absolutely clear, so there's a bit of trial and error, especially once you get into the darker corners. We made it through to his chopping block. Heaven help us. This is the first real boss, and the story has turned a lot darker and more gruesome here. To defeat the butcher, Olle has to be nimble. He has to keep evading and jumping around, and occasionally pick up some of this gunk and throw it into his face. That will weaken but also enrage him. You need to do this 3 times. You also need to jump whenever he hits the boards, because it's like an earthquake that will kill you. Fortunately, the game is excellent with the checkpoints, and if you die, you're straight back into the boss fight. This is now the 3rd throw. Fortunately, Olle had been practicing throwing with his sister, and this is the one that defeats the butcher. So Olle has to climb and platform his way out of that cave and continue searching for his sister Lillemore, who had been captured and abducted by a huge troll.
Olle wanted to cry. A couple of hours ago, he had been in his warm bed. Now, he had almost died several times. His sister was gone, and he was soaked in smelly sewer water.
I cannot overstate enough how creepingly haunting the atmosphere is. Here you hear the wailing of another kobold. He's trapped in that cage, and Olle will obviously need to release him. So here's another easy puzzle using what's available in the environment. Here it's one of these mining carriages or carts. And the puzzles here tend to be not tricky puzzles, but rather puzzles where it's important to get the physical execution right. The kobolds crying, they sound almost like babies in distress, can really get to you. Finally, the timing is right for a jump and a quick climb up, and all we need to do is just push that crate down there. They are so happy to be free. Olle just needs to open that big door for them. And there is the path home. Olle just needs to guide them. But watch out for traps. So this is an escort mission. Get the kobolds all home safely, avoiding the traps. And here I'm thinking I can get past this one safely, but I hadn't thought about a whole gaggle of kobolds, and one of them was caught in the trap's steel embrace. I didn't feel too good about that, but be prepared for what happens now when the kobolds finally reach their much-loved little home. Because we are in a land of giants. So our challenge is now to get Olle past this absolutely horrendous troll creature, and this will involve a sequence of stealth actions. Not difficult, but once again it's the timing, the physical execution that is paramount. You need to crouch and stay in the dark to be able to get past him. I hope this has conveyed some of the flavour of Bramble to you. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you've already played it, and maybe this video has encouraged you to try the game for yourself. Please keep well. I'm Food for Dogs. Bye bye.